is Alan Whitecrans for DedicatedHosting.com. I have here with me Jason Smith, who is CEO of Torchlight Technologies. Yep. Welcome, Jason. And Jason, tell us a little bit about your business.
Well, we offer a variety of network solutions. However, we use primarily the open source Linux type software. We use Linux, but we also use MySQL databases. We support PHP, Python, Ruby. We use open source tools such as Nagios, OSEC, so we can give people a full array of network support, network utilities, but using open source tools, reducing their costs and upgrading or giving them the ability to be scalable as well. You know, solutions that can grow with them rather than having to buy something new every 2 or 3 years. So we also do custom development using PHP and MySQL, Apache, so the whole AMP stack. So yeah.
Okay. So Jason, you help a lot of companies really as a consultant, advising them on really their infrastructure needs.
Right.
And there's managed hosting, there's dedicated hosting, and there's the cloud now. What's sort of the difference between each?
Well, dedicated hosting and managed hosting are more or less the same. The big difference between them is dedicated hosting generally has more to do with them giving you a dedicated network to support. They actually will give you the server as well many times. But a lot of times you have to provide, in terms of the operating system and whatnot, you have to provide your own level of support on that, whereas managed hosting will take care of the network, but they'll also take care of the server itself.
And then you hear everything about cloud these days.
Yeah, cloud, there's, depending on who you ask, there's different definitions. The generally accepted one is having servers floating on the internet, floating in the cloud, so to speak. So you have small virtual servers that exist on the internet. They can be deleted, and rebuilt almost instantaneously, and they also have backed up storage that can be moved from server to server. It's kind of like it's kind of like they took the hardware and just kind of took it apart and allowed it to just float independently of each other, so you can bring this backup file from server A to server B almost seamlessly, whereas with an actual physical server, there's uninstalling and messing with hardware that has to go on. So it's just taking all the hardware and making it virtual. You have the same effect of the server. If you log into a cloud server, it looks exactly the same, it feels exactly the same as a regular server, but in reality, it's not.
Okay. So, talk specifically about dedicated hosting. When do you recommend to a client to say, this is the route you need to go, and where do you help a client with dedicated hosting?
Well, usually it depends on what they're doing. We more often see it when we're talking about building a web application or something.
Right.
But storage will do that as well, or file servers. Basically, when you buy a server, and this is whether you're doing dedicated hosting or hosting it in-house, whatever the case might be, when you buy a server, there's actually a lot of hidden costs to it that you might not know initially. Management software to make sure the network is going, load balancing, to actually have a person there watching it
what if
all the time.
Goes kaput?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Bandwidth can be pricey and whatnot, so if the needs of the customer is to where they don't actually need the server on site, like there's absolutely no real reason why they absolutely have to have it on site. They're not even going to have somebody there to maintain it at all times. It works just the same if it's dedicated at some other location as if it's here. We tell them, okay, well, let's save the money.
Right.
And let's go ahead and put it on a dedicated host where they'll provide the network, they'll provide the server racks, they'll provide the support team, yet you won't have to pay the same price as they would. That's like with if you go to Costco and you buy a bulk of milk versus going to, say, Walmart, you'll save money. Well, they're buying bulk internet for all their hosts, so the individual costs is much lower. So it's usually cheaper for a customer to move to a dedicated host in those instances.
Great. Well, how do people find you on the internet, your URL?
Torchlighttech.com.
Torchlighttech.com. Okay, well, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you.